tree, the palms blowing in the background here. Hello, my friends. Welcome. I'm going to wait here and see for people to hop on. If you're watching this in the replay, maybe I should do some stand-up comedy to fill the time. What do you think? I don't have any. I can't even think of a joke. Let me see if I can think of a joke. I don't have a place in my brain. You know, that sphere of the brain that stores things like jokes? I just don't have. And I also don't have a sphere in my brain that stores card games. So it's super frustrating. It's always been frustrating for my friends and family whenever we want to play anything like euchre even. They have to reteach me the rules every single time because I cannot remember them. So funny. Okay, I see people joining us. Please let me know where you're watching from. Hi, Terry's watching from the UK. Levi, my partner, is watching from our home in Costa Rica. He says, hello, Mama. I'm assuming my daughter is tuning in. And my daughter, who is officially 18 months old today, which is so crazy because I keep getting all these Facebook memories popping up on my personal page. Last year at this time, I was not really showing much of a baby belly yet, but it was en route. So I look forward to see these. Not last year. Oh, my goodness. That was 2019. I don't know about you guys, but 2020 feels like a blip in time that is forever lost. And I have lost an entire year. I was not pregnant last year. My daughter was here with us, hence why she's a year and a half now, which is crazy. Kobe says hello. Of course she does. Everyone else, I see a lot more of you guys are tuning in. Please let me know where you're watching from. Terry says, yo, Levi. Saying hello to everyone. Okay, so let's get right to the nitty gritty. I see we've got some viewers. So what is today's topic? Today's topic is what's coming is going, except when it comes to cacao. So here at Rythmia, we work, Rythmia, by the way, is a life advancement retreat center here in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. We have an amazing holistic program here. We've been catering to people all over the world for the last 5.5 years, almost 6 years. We actually opened under this license in February 2016, which is super crazy. I joined on in June of that year. We've had close to, at some point in February, we're going to cross over the 8,000 guest mark, which is crazy. 8,000 souls have passed through the doors here to do my mother is watching. Hi, Mom. Good to see you from Canada. To do our program here at Rythmia. So our program is based around many different things: metaphysical teachings, workshops, spiritual study, breathwork, meditation classes, and of course, plant medicine ceremonies, which we currently do offer 4 nights a week. Our workshops are built specifically to work around all of the spiritual growth involved in these 2 different types of ceremonies, breathwork and the medicine. And we have certain beliefs that we've been taught by the medicine as to how to navigate your work with the medicine. And one of those things is the notion and the idea, while on the medicine and working through this, that whatever is coming up for you to look at and see or feel, healed and go, heal and release, heal and be transmuted into love. So what Jerry commonly talks about in one of his classes is the idea that, in normal life, like if you're a runner and you're walking down the hallway at a mall and all of a sudden you start to feel pain in your leg, you think, oh my goodness, I'm getting shin splints. Shin splints are coming. Whereas when we're working on the medicine, when you feel sensation in your body or you start to feel an emotion come up, it's the idea that stuff is coming up so that we can witness it, shine light on it, send love to it, give it thanks so that it can move on and move away from us. And I think it's applicable to life outside of the medicine as well when it comes to emotions and long, deep-rooted limiting beliefs. When ideas and thoughts and feelings are coming up around these things, or emotions are coming up, they are coming up to be healed and let go of. But when we feel emotions, especially these lower quality emotions that we label as low vibration, things like shame, guilt, fear, what do we do naturally as humans? Often as adults, conditioned as we are, we try to shove those feelings down, stuff them down, not actually feel them. Because when we get angry in certain environments, it has been taught to us that it is not right to feel and express these emotions, so we stuff them down. When really what we need to be doing is letting them come up, express themselves, not get wallowed inside of them, not get married to them, not be attached to these feelings, but let them come up so they can in fact be released and let go of and healed, right? The more we stuff these things down, the longer they stick with us, they take on a life of their own, and then eventually they explode. And that's not healing, and that's not healthy. So it's the same idea in life. Like when feelings are coming up, they're coming up to go. They're coming up to be expressed so that we can move on from them and release them and forgive them and let them go. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about that. And if there's one thing in my life that I'd never want to let go of or see disappear or transmute into anything else, it's chocolate. So I'm going to put on my apron for the remainder of this program because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the chocolate. Hello, everyone that's tuning in, all my new people joining. Good to have you here. So chocolate is, I've had a love-hate relationship with chocolate. I've always eaten a little bit of chocolate every day in my adult life. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I've suffered with an eating disorder for much of my adult life. In my early 30s, really started to delve deep into healing that. And over the last 5 years have really closed the door on that to a certain extent with a few minor relapses in my uncontrollable life as of late. But I live a very recovered life. And one food that I embraced in my later adult life as not being a bad food is chocolate. Because wouldn't you know it, the news touted all of the benefits of dark chocolate and the antioxidants, and I hopped on that train, dark chocolate every night with my glass of red wine every night. I've since eliminated the red wine. And I've also eliminated chocolate at night because I'm drinking decaffeinated coffee for the most part since August. And I really quickly realized that that chocolate late at night started keeping me up. It was almost as if my body wasn't used to having any caffeine in it. So the small amount of theobromine, or the caffeine-like substance that is in raw cacao, that started keeping me up at night. So I no longer drink chocolate at night. But I have developed a new relationship with chocolate that I want to talk to you guys about here today. So let's see who else is hopped on here. Hi, Melanie. Melanie's watching from Canada. Emmanuel is saying hello. We're going to put a sock on my microphone right now because the wind is kicking up. Hi, Areta. She says, oh my God, I missed you so much. I miss you too. So glad we get to connect here online. Thank you, Stefan. Ladies and gentlemen, Stefan, our amazing audio, video, music man, creative director of Our Love. He's such an amazing member of our team. And he helps support me with these every Sunday and puts up with me and then eats my food. So it's kind of, it's win-win for all of us, right? All right, so back to the chocolate. I have just developed a new relationship with cacao. So what's the difference? I've been talking about chocolate, I've been talking about cacao. So a lot of people out there, it's widely well known that there is a big difference, and I'm going to explain it to you really briefly here. So cocoa, the chocolate that you typically will find in any store-bought chocolate bar, the cocoa powder that you would buy in the baking section of the grocery store, that is all from the same plant, which is the cacao plant that grows actually here in Costa Rica, as well as many other Central and South American countries. And it comes as a fruit. I wish I had a sample for you guys today, and maybe another video in the future, I'll bring one in. But it comes from a fruit that as it ripens, it develops a white flesh on the inside and seeds that are about this big that are the cacao seeds. So what happens in the processing of chocolate is those seeds are taken out of the fruit and then typically roasted at very high temperatures, thereby killing off a lot of the enzyme function in them and a lot of the nutrition. And then those cacao beans are what's broken down and created into the chocolate that you know from your most traditional chocolate bars. Now for raw cacao, and that's the difference, we call it cacao is the raw form, or the less processed form at any rate. Those seeds are typically sun-dried, dehydrated, and then fermented instead of going through the roasting process, and that's what brings out the flavor and all of the additional health benefits to it. So that's the big difference. So why cacao? Well, obviously it's delicious, right? 100% cacao, 80% cacao. A lot of people are chocolate. People don't think they like that that flavor. It's a very bitter. It's a very bitter food. But when combined with a lot of other delicious ingredients into an elixir, like I'm about to show you this morning, it can be really, really delicious. Why? What are some other reasons to enjoy cacao? Well, it's high in antioxidants, as I mentioned. It's high in iron. In fact, it's one of the highest plant-based sources of iron. It's also high in magnesium, which the population is typically quite deficient in. So I take a magnesium supplement every night before bed. It helps me calm down and sleep really well. Magnesium is good for that. It's a muscle relaxant. And cacao is a great source of that as well. So be mindful of not starting with too much 100% ceremonial grade cacao too soon, because it can have an effect on your bowels. I will tell you that from experience. So those are a couple of the bodily functions and why we like to use it for the nutrition component. But also, cacao has long been revered as something to work into ceremonial situations in indigenous cultures. There's not a lot of research out there about different indigenous cultures in Ecuador and Central and South America. They've not really used cacao as a beverage the way that you would drink something like an ayahuasca in a ceremonial state. Cacao is not typically, that's not how it's been honored, but it's been brought into ceremonies and used as part of the ceremony environment, quite often just placed on an altar to represent the spirit of the cacao. And it's been modern day culture where we've really started to drink the cacao in a ceremonial way. So if you Google cacao ceremony near me, you're probably going to get a ton of options because it's become a lot more widely known in the last couple of years. When I first moved down to Costa Rica, there was the odd cacao ceremony happening around here. And of course, cacao is not the kind of plant medicine it's not the cacao spirit is not the type of spirit that you would receive a super psychoactive experience like you would with other plant medicines, whether medicinal mushrooms, iboga, or anything like that. What cacao typically does is it brings a sense of connection. It is believed to be a heart-opening medicine. So it's something that you can do every single day if you want, and just use it as a way to connect to your heart. And it has a really powerful way to bring about healing and remembrance of who you are. It can help you set intention in your day. Just really start to perhaps would be otherwise. So I've created a bit of a cacao ceremony for myself. I've been trying to do most mornings. Some mornings I have to do it a bit more of a rush, but ideally I like to wake up early and around 5 a.m., light some incense, make myself a cacao drink or cacao elixir. And I dose my cacao based on how much time I have in the morning to sit with it. And then I typically move into a meditation practice, and then a yoga practice, and then journaling, reflection, affirmations. And I allow the energy and the spirit of the cacao within me to open up my heart so that I can receive more guidance through my meditation practice, and also just come to my yoga, and then to the rest of my day in a more heart open space. So I do really feel, I notice the difference on the days that I do this practice in the morning versus the days that I don't. And I think it is something that is really, really powerful for a lot of us to embrace. Now, when it comes to cacao, there's many different ways you can purchase it. Do not just go buy your most favorite dark chocolate bar at the grocery store. I know Whole Foods has a whole lot of great chocolate, but what you really want to look for if you want to start some sort of ritual is a ceremonial grade cacao. Now, this is going to mean that it is very limitedly processed, that there's nothing stripped away, none of the goodness is stripped away, and there's nothing added to it. There are a lot of companies out there you can order online. A lot of companies out there doing it now. I have an amazing company here in Costa Rica that I've been using. Their cacao is not only delicious, but super high quality, and I notice the potency when I drink it. So I have a couple of different ways that you can buy it. So there's a great company here in Costa Rica that does this for you. It takes the ceremonial grade cacao and it makes it into this little, it's almost like a cacao pop. So this is the chocolate. Now this contains both the cacao and the cacao butter. Often you'll see at grocery stores, you can buy cacao powder. This is not what we want to use, because in the cacao powder, they stripped the dry cacao away from the cacao butter. The cacao butter is essentially white. It looks like white chocolate. It is what white chocolate is made of. It's also ingredient in a lot of healthcare products. But you want the whole part. You want it all included without any added sugars or anything like that. So you can buy it like this. And what's great about this is when you're in a rush in the morning and you just want to have a hit of cacao, you drop one of those into your mug, pour some warm water, nothing boiling. You don't want it too hot because that will in fact kill off some of the enzymes and the good nutrition. And then you can just stir it all up and you have an amazing little cacao drink. So that's a really convenient thing when you want to just enjoy your cacao in less of a ritualistic ceremonial way and just as a coffee alternative. This morning I woke up to teach yoga here at Rythmia, and instead of pouring myself a cup of coffee before I left, I made myself a cacao drink and I took that with me. And then I sipped on that cacao through the whole yoga class, and it was really, really delightful. Another way you can buy cacao is I order this big chunks of this ceremonial grade cacao from my provider here. And then I just break off as much as I need when I want to make it. So this is a really convenient way. Obviously, there's no extra bells and whistles here. I just want the quality cacao. I don't care about all of the fancy. And then you can also buy it in bars. So this is a bar that I buy. This is a pure cacao, no added sugar, no added cacao butter. And this company is great because they include sometimes some of the mucilage or the actual fruit part in with the cacao. So you're getting a really full, balanced, delicious combination. Now, the really funny bit is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there are some tooth marks here. Little Miss Kobe Grace, my daughter, found this on the kitchen counter yesterday or the day before. And I thought it would be funny because I did not think she was going to enjoy it. So I let her go and take a bite of it. I thought she would make a funny face because it is quite bitter, and put it back. But no, she went back in for a second bite. So you can see there's tooth marks all on there. So I think that is quite hilarious. Now, I just realized the one thing that I did forget was to bring some hot water. Stefan, I don't know if you could help me just from the hot water machine. Grab me some hot water. Thank you. So there are a couple of ways that we can serve cacao. There is, for ceremonial dosage, sometimes we're looking at, 4 ounces of cacao. I usually just go about 4 tablespoons when I'm doing it for myself at home. For a nice, easy morning beverage, you would maybe do 2 tablespoons. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to do 3 tablespoons because I'm going to actually split this cup of cacao with Stefan. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball it here. So I'm going to use this one here today, and I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to cut. I'm going to wait till Stefan gets back actually so you guys can see a bit better what I'm doing here. Because he's gone to get me some hot water because I forgot my ingredient. And as I mentioned about the water, you don't want to use boiling water. You don't want to use scalding hot water. You want to use, warmer than room temperature because we do want to melt. We do want to, whoa! The magic of TV. Thank you. I've got it. Perfect. He's like, it's hot. I've got chef hands. I don't feel the heat. Yeah, we don't want to scald the ingredients. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut into this chocolate. I'm going to cut off about 3 tablespoons worth. We'll do the end that Kobe didn't gnaw from, just for your sake, Stefan. I'm actually going to break it off into 3 pieces just so it will melt down a little bit better in our blender here. So, oh my God, it smells so delicious. There's no sweet, there's the bit of a natural sweetness, but it's mostly bitter. And it's lovely, and it's melted out, like it's got nice and soft, so it's easy to cut, and it's going to melt quickly. So I'm going to toss that into my blender. So I just have a standard blender here. I'm going to toss those in there. This is the base. I'm going to add a bunch of extra ingredients here. You could just do the cacao and some warm water and a sweetener of choice. I like to make this a really beautiful combination of powerful ingredients when I'm doing this as my morning elixir. So this is some raw honey I'm going to add in. This is from Blue Zones here in Costa Rica, 100% raw honey, raw bee honey. I'm going to put in a good 2 tablespoons of that to give it a nice, this is nature's medicine also. Obviously, if you're vegan, you can substitute in maple syrup or a whole date. I love putting a whole date into my elixir often. Is really, really yummy. Just blend that up. Make sure you pit it. I'm going to add a couple of other ingredients that I love to normally put in my morning smoothie, but because I'm not doing a smoothie here, I'm going to do this. So this is Maca root powder. So this is a Peruvian root, known well for its adaptogenic effects. So it helps to work with your hormones, to help balance out your stress response, as well as to work with energy and endurance. And there's been minimal studies and claims that it helps with libido. So why not, right? Chocolate is an aphrodisiac. Long well known for that. Let's add in some maca. Why not, right? I'm also going to add in a bit of collagen, because this has been something that I've been using medicinally for a while now. I'm going to add in just 1 serving of collagen powder. This is an unflavored one. So this is like a well-rounded beverage this morning. Then the last thing I'm going to add in is a bit of ghee. So this is grass-fed ghee, which is just a clarified butter. So it's the good fat from butter, none of the milk solids. So really, really great. I often put it in my coffee in the morning. If we're not drinking coffee and we're having cacao, let's use it here. And then we're going to add in one last ingredient. This is reishi mushroom. So this is a 10-to-1 concentration of reishi mushrooms. Now, it's normally a powder, but here in Costa Rica, things get very moist. So it's become a bit of a chunky bit. So I'm just going to break off. This is just straight up reishi mushrooms. Really great for immunity. Toss that in. We like mushrooms, right, Stefan? Perfect. So this is the base. Now I'm just going to pour some of this hot water on top. Whoop. And then toss it on my blender. Now I use my blender because it's the easiest thing in the world. You don't need to do this in a blender. You could warm all of these ingredients up on the stovetop, whisking constantly, because the chocolate will continue to keep wanting to settle on the bottom of the pot. You do not want it to burn. So you need to whisk and keep it at a low temperature till it all melts and comes together. The blender is the easiest way to do it. You don't need a fancy blender either, as you can see. Make sure this is not going to leak anywhere. Here we go. Amazing. Now I let that go a little bit longer just because I had that big chunk of mushroom in there. Oh my God. This is better than any, look at this, any hot chocolate you could buy from a pouch. I will tell you that. One for me, one for Effin. Super frothy, medicinal goodness. Here you go, Stefan. Here you go, friends in the audience. Cheers to love, cheers to life, cheers to connection and inspiration. Inspiration. Bon provecho. Have a beautiful day, guys. Love you. That is it. That is all. Bring some more cacao into your world. Stefan says thumbs up. Love you guys. See you next week. Have a beautiful week. Let me know how it goes. Send me a message. Post in the comments how your cacao elixirs turn out. Bye-bye.